Three, two, one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting pickup video here on What's in My Room. And I am once again here with my good friend Ron, who also has some pickups to bring to the table. So thank you, Ron, for coming back. And
No problem.
um, you're a budding collector like myself, so
I don't think I'm going to catch up to you.
at least
Even get
not
close.
anytime soon. I
Or,
think
or
like
even get
a
close.
lot less than I want to own. So
I think I'd have to win the lottery or just, get some, you know, fall into some big money to catch up to you.
but
If I ever had the money, I'd have a whole entire room full of movies and like a movie library, and I also have a library as well. So,
well, I honestly think that everyone should have some kind of a collection. It doesn't have to be like extraordinary or anything like that.
well,
You can't
technically,
always rely on like streaming sites or anything. You want to be able to watch them like at the get go and not have to like try to find a streaming site to go
well,
do
when
it.
I bought my original my, I mean, I guess I had a tiny collection. I mean, like, I don't know how many exactly, but I had a few shows, a couple shows, and a few movies. So I had a small collection, but there wasn't streaming sites when I got those. That was just relying on when they would be on TV or if they would be on TV. Um, Buffy was on a lot for a long time, still on Hulu, which is a streaming site technically. But Hulu was one of the first, and they were they had a free version for a long time with a lot of stuff you could watch for free. I'm not sure if that was there, but I remember watching Greatest American Hero free on their site. They no longer have a free version, um, but they're not too expensive. They're still pretty decent for what you get. But yeah, they used to have a free version of Hulu, um, but I'm guessing that was before Disney joined them because I don't know when Disney joined, when Disney is a part owner, and I'm thinking maybe before that they weren't because the most wants is money.
That is true.
Yeah. As much as I love Disney, they are they're definitely money givers, you know. But yeah.
Alrighty, well, why don't you show us a few things that you have? Maybe we'll start with like maybe five things that you have or something like that.
That's all I have. No, I'm just kidding. I have a little more than five. Okay, so here is, if you can see this, The Hobbit, three Hobbit movies, and Lord of the Rings all in one convenient package.
Is that the extended or just the
No, these are
theatrical?
the regular theatrical versions. I got a good deal on it, so I'm not going to complain.
Neither
And
would I.
for many years, that's all I'd ever seen of the Lord of the Rings. And I've never seen the extended of the Hobbit because, like I said, they're already extended because the book was only one book.
That's okay. I still have my trilogy set of
So,
the theatrical versions of the Lords of the Rings. So
Lord of the Rings.
yeah, Lord of the Rings. That was when they came
And
up
then
with.
we have my very first time buying anime. I love the series. I thought I was getting the entire series in three movies, but I should have known better. Um, I did get three movies, but I only got a few episodes. But this is Rema 1.5. Just absolutely loved the show. I started collecting, and hey, those movies weren't on Hulu like the shows were. So I'm like, I want to know what happened. You know, I got so into the show. We were only supposed to watch the one season, and I just kind of got so into it. I went way past how many I was supposed to watch, and I was like, "Oops, well, I may as well just keep going." And I finished the entire series. I finished the series a day after we talked about the first season, so not bad.
No, definitely, since they're not that long episodes, you know.
No, and that's why I got through all of them, I guess. You know, but still, I went from supposed to be watching what, like 15, I think, to 10 seasons worth. So this is a complete series of King of Queens.
Oh shit!
Love the show. Love the show.
Used
So
to like the
hilarious.
show myself, so
Yeah. And here we have a classic movie. Great movie. Arsenic and Old Lace. If
okay.
you haven't seen it, watch it. This is probably, if not the first, definitely one of the first comedy horrors.
So, had you ever owned it before, like recently picking it up?
No, I never owned it. Loved it, but I never owned it.
Okay.
So, there we go.
Cool beans. I still have to get a copy myself.
The last one is my second anime, which not only is it an anime, but it's actually an anime I haven't even seen yet. Comes highly recommended by everybody who's ever seen it. So I was like, oh, you know what? Everybody likes it and talks about it, so let's give it a try. There's a Netflix live action version of the show, which I still haven't seen either. But here we are, Cowboy Bebop.
Ah,
So, all right, Dave, your turn.
okay. Let me pull these down here. So I'll bring a stack down, and then
Yeah.
go at her.
After my next go, I'll be done.
So I've never heard of this movie before. Um, Not even sure what it's about, but it's a movie called Starbuck.
What is it called?
Starbuck.
Starbuck.
Yeah. It's got Patrick Huard, Julie Le Breton, and Antoine Bertrand in it. It's directed by Ken Scott. Um, just when he learns that Valerie is pregnant, perma-teen David Wozniak finds out he's the father of 533 children and that all of his children are trying to quash his sperm donor's anonymity clause. And ultimately, David has to choose between a normal life with Valerie and life as the father of 533 children.
Is that new?
I think it is newer. Yes.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've heard of the story. I didn't remember the name. Of Starbuck. The only Starbuck I know is one of the main characters for Battlestar Galactica, the original and reimagined. Only the reimagined Starbuck got turned into a girl.
And that was Blu-ray by the way. So next is a film called Teenage Hitchhikers.
Teenage Hitchhiker.
Teenage Hitchhikers.
That an
Uh,
anime?
no, it's not an anime. It is directed by Jerry Sedley, and it says the 13th single edition high def release from Dark Force Entertainment holds a special affinity as it stars Sandra Peabody of The Last House on the Left, this 1974 drive-in exploitation flick doesn't rely on violence, but rather just good soft-core fun. Featured in Quentin Tarantino's QT Fest, it's the story of two young hitchhikers who embark on a cross-country trip in search of freedom, excitement, and independence. The lovely ladies use their bodies as currency and encounter a diverse array of uh, lib- libidinous folk on their journey. So, this is a brand new HD master from the original 35 millimeter camera. I have not seen it, so I don't know. Next, I have Slaughterhouse-5. This is the Arrow copy of Slaughterhouse-5, so this is an upgrade for me. I have the DVD, and Slaughterhouse-5 is very much a slow burn, but I like it because it's got trippy war scenes and science fiction scenes put together in like one feverish dream. There's a guy who I guess has been in a war, and it's based on a novel too. And he seems to have dreams of a futuristic like wife up in the sky while he's going through these atrocities in war time, and it keeps like going backwards and forwards in his lifetime, and it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm glad that I upgraded to it, and I want to eventually watch it again. So I know my friend and his wife who had it didn't like it, so I said, okay, I'll take it. Next, I have a movie called RoboCrop. RoboCrop, that's what it's called. And I believe it is directed by, I'm looking at the director here, Arthur Sinclair. A top secret unmanned spacecraft disintegrates on re-entry. Its mysterious military payload crash lands in the crocodile habitat of a place called Adventureland, a combination water park, amusement land, and world-famous crocodile exhibit. Following its pre-programmed instructions, the payload, a next-generation nanotech-based combat drone, finds a host in the form of the park's prize 20-foot Australian saltwater crocodile, Stella. She is the largest saltwater croc in captivity. Immediately upon infecting its host, the drone payload's nanobots begin to transform Stella from an organic living creature into a lethal killing machine with only a single directive: survival. Next, I have a movie from the Fangoria Fright Fest collection called Roadkill. It looks like it's directed by Rodrigo Galler. Oh, wait, it's directed by Dean Francis. Four young friends on a camping adventure are run off the road by an erratically driven road train, a massive 3-trailer truck, with their own vehicle wrecked and the road train stopped. The friends march off to vent their anger at the driver, but the truck is empty. Suddenly, the silence is broken by the sound of gunshots. To escape, the friends commandeer commandeer the road train. What they discover inside the vehicle's trailers proves more terrifying than anything out there on that lonely road. The next town is only 3 hours away, but will they reach it? Okay, next I have Masked Mutilator. This is a Intervision release. It is directed by Jeff Beltzner. So in 1994, a production team in eastern Pennsylvania brought together a group of local pro wrestlers and young actors to make a horror action film. A quarter of a century later, the movie was finally finished. After accidentally killing an opponent in the ring, a professional wrestler takes a job at a group home for youth offenders. But when a psychopath wearing a wrestling mask begins butchering the teenage residents, their rehabilitation will become a no-holds-barred battle for survival. WWE and Stampede veteran Brick Bronski, otherwise known as Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD class of Nukem High 2 and 3. Jeff Sibak, WCW NWA. Doug Flex Yasinski from ECW. James DeBello from Cabin Fever, and FX Master Glenn Hetrick from Sci-Fi Space Off, co-star in the sex and violence throwback to the regional exploitation, directed by
They couldn't afford any real wrestlers. I watched wrestling for a long time. I don't know any of those.
Directed by Bronski and completed from the original 16 millimeter footage stored in the executive producer's basement for the past 25 years. So that is Masked Mutilator. Next, I have a Blu-ray upgrade from my DVD copy of this double feature of Mommy and Mommy 2, with Patty McCormick from who played in the original movie Bad Seed. This is a Trauma film release originally, but on Blu-ray it is put out by VCI Entertainment. She's pretty perfect. She's June Cleaver with a cleaver, and you don't want to deny her or her precious daughter anything. She's Patty McCormick, Academy Award nominated for her classic portrayal of the Bad Seed. In this award-winning thriller, the astonishing fine cast includes The Exorcist's Jason Miller, Star Trek's Majel Barrett, Mike Hammer's Mickey Spillane, and Scream Queen Brinks Stevens. Written and directed by acclaimed mystery writer Max Allan Collins, creator of Road to Perdition and Mommy's Day. The public is outraged, the media frenzied, but Mommy only wants to regain the love of her precious daughter, and heaven help those who stand in her way. So, yeah, the double feature of Mommy and Mommy 2, basically. Although the second one is called Mommy's Day this time. I think it was called Mommy 2 something else. But this is the 25th anniversary. Next, I have a film called Lost River. It stars Christina Hendricks, Saoirse Ronan, Ian de Decker, Matt Smith with Eva Mendes and Ben Mendelsohn. It's directed by Ryan Gosling. Oscar nominee Ryan Gosling makes his directorial debut. I know Ryan Gosling. He played in Drive and La La Land.
Ryan Gosling's been in a lot of things.
Yeah.
He was in that Notebook that women love.
Yep. A dark fairy tale about love, family, and the fight for survival in the face of danger. In the virtually abandoned city of Lost River, Billy, played by Christina Hendricks, a single mother of two, is led into a macabre underworld in her quest to save her childhood home and hold her family together. Her teenage son, Bones, played by Ian Day Keistecker, uh, discovers a mystery about the origins of Lost River that triggers his curiosity and sets into motion an unexpected journey that will test the limits of those he loves. So that actually does sound good, and I'm curious as to whether he will have any good, um, camera moments or whatnot. But next, I have a horror film called Let Her Out. Now, I have actually seen this one, and I know it has a sequel, which I think I've showed the sequel before, but I did not have the first one, at least as a copy until recently. So, Let Her Out is directed by Cody Callahan. Helen is a pike warrior who suffers a traumatic head injury at the hands of a stranger. When she awakens in a hospital to discover that has a benign growth in her brain, she begins to experience dark visions, voices, and the omnipresence of a strange young woman. Thrust back into her life, Helen finds herself lost in a walking nightmare in which nothing is what it seems, because the thing inside her mind will stop at nothing to get out. This is from Black Fawn Distribution, and it's also distributed by Uncourt Entertainment. So there we have Let Her Out. I did find it a little. It's not that I was scared of it. I did find it a little trippy.
You found a little what?
A little trippy.
Trippy. Like the wall trippy, or
trippy is different than like being scared of it.
I know that the wall is trippy, not scary at all, but trippy as hell.
Not the wall trippy. That's more of a stoner movement.
Actually, it's more of a drop acid and get freaked the freak out. I never did that. Watching the movie, but I have friends that have.
So next, I have a Shout Factory release that was released with IFC Midnight Entertainment. Because oftentimes Scream Factory or Shout Factory will pair with other film companies. This movie is called Trapped the Devil. Brand new. Haven't even opened it yet, but it looks like it's directed by Josh Lobo. Christmas is supposed to be a time for peace and joyful family reunions, but when Matt, played by A.J. Bowen, and his wife Karen, played by Susan Burke, show up unannounced at the home of his estranged brother, played by Scott Poythress, to celebrate the holidays, they are instead greeted with a horrifying surprise. Trapped in Steve's basement is a man, but not just any man. Steve believes that his hostage is none other than the devil himself. As shock and skepticism turn into fear and paranoia, Matt and Karen find themselves facing a terrifying quandary. Is Steve dangerously unhinged? Or could the mysterious stranger really be the embodiment of evil incarnate? Either way, the stage is set for a true Christmas from hell in this provocative holiday horror. I think I'll have to save that one for Christmas.
It's Christmas time. I thought you were gonna say Santa, but I was close. Same letters, just
They
mixed up.
both dress up,
And they also
red.
have the same letters.
So I have another Fangoria.
Satan, Santa, coincidence? I think not.
I have another Fangoria Fright Fest film. I believe that there were like 8 of these that Fangoria actually backed or at least helped get released. This one's called Hunger. And it's directed by Stephen Henches. 5 strangers awaken to find themselves trapped in an underground dungeon. They soon realize that they are the subjects of one man's sadistic experiment to test the depths of a human being's will to survive. As the days go by with no means of escape, their hunger increases and their humanity fades away. So, looking forward to checking that.
So it's a Donna story.
Huh?
So it's a Donna story.
Kind of, sort of. Next, I have.
Well, they're gonna end up eating each other, right? That's obviously what it's about.
Next, I have a movie which I think I will have to hunt down the other 2 films. I think this might actually be the 3rd film in this trilogy. It is an animated feature called Howard Lovecraft and the Undersea Kingdom, and it has the voices of Ron Perlman, Mark Hamill, and Christopher Plummer. Young Howard Lovecraft may have defeated the evil king Abdul Al-Hazrad in the Frozen Kingdom, but is not safe. Not yet. There are much darker forces at work this time. Howard must protect his father's journals without the assistance of his most trusted ally, Spot. Instead, Howard must recruit his own father and seek the aid of the studious Dr. Henry Armitage to use the power of the journals to rescue his best friend and family and vanquish the mysterious forces once and for all. Based on the graphic novel by Bruce Brown and Dwight L. McPherson, Howard Lovecraft and the Undersea Kingdom comes to life with a phenomenal voice cast, including Oscar winner Christopher Plummer from Up, Mark Hamill from the Star Wars franchise, and Jeffrey Combs from the Reanimator, as well as Ron Perlman and Doug Bradley from Hellraiser. And this is also a Shout Factory release. So, interesting. That might even be the sequel, not the 3rd one. Here is a Sub Rosa Cinema release of Hot Tub Party Massacre. Trying to see. Oh, okay, it's directed by Chris Greenway, and it features a voiceover from the legendary Scream Queen Brent Stevens, and it has music by Chan Walrus. The Sisters of the Delta Omega sorority won a free weekend at a luxurious hotel and spa. They planned on having a fun and steamy weekend. However, things go from steamy to bloody when an escaped serial killer checks into the hotel and crashes their party. The heat will be on at the hot tub party massacre. Next, I have this film already on Blu-ray. I have the 2-disc limited edition copy that came out before it was picked up by um, exploitation films of this movie. This is a film by Romaine Bassett. It's called Horsehead. It is brand new, hasn't even been opened. Believe this is a Blu-ray, and I guess there are 4 short films on here by the director. Haunting and horrific, surreal, and shocking, Horsehead is a horror fantasy that pays tribute to the classic European shockers of Dario Argento and Mario Bava, while delivering unforgettable images that both disturb and enchant. Beautiful young Jessica returns to her family's countryside estate for her grandmother's funeral, where she is haunted by recurring nightmares of a horse-head monster. As she attempts to semi-consciously navigate through this green landscape, Jessica begins to discover the secrets behind the sinister apparition. Horsehead is a feverish, ethereal journey through the psycho-sexual world of nightmares. So, next I have a film called Hoax. It's a Blu-ray. And I believe this was from Epic Pictures, which has put out quite a few releases. And Dread Central actually backed this film. It is directed by Matt Allen, and an investigative team travels deep into the remote Colorado wilderness after a group of young campers are viciously murdered by what may be Bigfoot. What they encounter turns out to be more unexpected and dangerous than anything they could have ever imagined. Featuring genre favorites Brian Thompson from Cobra, Ben Browder from Farscape, Cheryl Texiera from Suspense, and Adrienne Barbeau. You may not believe the legend, but the horror is real, is the tagline.
Wow.
Next, I have. There were several triple feature sets originally that came out in the independent horror syndicate called the Maneater series, and this is a lone DVD from from those sets. It's called High Plains Invaders. Cool cover. And it has a tagline of "No one invited them, nothing can stop them." It is directed by K.T. Donaldson, and it stars James Marsters, Cindy Sampson,
James Marsters?
Knapp. You know the name?
Yeah, it's Spike.
Yeah, James Marsters. Buffy the Vampire Slayer stars in this horrifying showdown of pioneers versus
I
aliens.
said Spike.
Yep.
Buffy, Angel, he was also Brainiac in Smallville.
In the rugged and ruthless Wild West, Sam Phoenix, played by Marsters, is just about to be hanged for his crimes when his execution is cut short by the sudden invasion of enormous and deadly insectoid creatures. As the body count rises, it is up to Sam to lead the terrified townspeople to safety before they are hunted to extinction. So, yep. I'm interested in that one, that's for sure. Next, I have a movie that I have not seen with John Travolta in it. Travolta is Gotti.
I've heard of that. I've not seen it, but I heard of it.
Showed the world who's boss. And I guess this is the true story in the relationship between John Gotti and his son. While he lived and died by the mob code, his son chose to leave the world behind and redeem himself and the Gotti name. So I guess this is from the producers of Two Guns, which I also have not seen, but I'm looking forward to checking this out because I do like crime movies. Next, this is a Sub Rosa Cinema release of an anthology called Gore Theater. Which it's got various directors attached to it. But here's what the back says. The Butcher revels in his work, whether it is curating horror films with a high gore content or making light work of his own victims. Welcome to the Butcher's Gore Theater, a nasty collection of macabre, tongue-in-cheek gore flicks from directors across the globe. Explore the strange world of the Butcher, from crazed clowns, vengeance, psychotic operations, demons and monsters, something for every gorehound. Roll up. And I think I have a poster for this this particular film as well. Also, originally from the Man Eater series that I was halfway talking about. This is another one from that series of triplicates. It's James Van Der Beek in Eye of the Beast. Fear runs deep is the tagline. It's a wicked cover, hey? And in a small fishing village, panic and fear are spreading as the legend of a giant underwater beast grows. When government scientist Dan Leyland, played by James Van Der Beek, is sent to investigate the murky waters, he soon uncovers a sea monster beyond anything he could have ever imagined, complete with massive tentacles and a taste for human flesh. It looks like the film is directed by Gary Yates. So I'm going to put it over to you, Kroll, so that you can show us some more that you brought to the table.
All right. I do have a few more things to show besides the one more pile. Anyways, so something that I picked up a little different than what we usually see on here, but I'll show you that after. But I want to start with this, and this is a collection of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. This was 24 movies, not quite the entire series. There's some movies since then on here. This includes in disc 1 Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk. Disc 2 Iron Man 2 and Thor. Disc 3 is Captain America: The First Avenger and the Avengers. Disc 4 is Iron Man 3 and Thor: Dark World. Disc 5 is Captain America: Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy. Disc 6 is Avengers: Age of Ultron and Ant-Man. Disc 7 is Captain America: Civil War and Doctor Strange. Disc 8 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Disc 9 is Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther. Disc 10 is Captain America and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Disc 11 is Spider-Man from Spider-Man Far From Home. And Avengers Infinity War. Disc 12 is Avengers Endgame. And Disc 13 is Black Widow. This is a DVD collection. And I would like to point out that I just got this. It just got released, and I picked it up. Wakanda Forever, so I now have Black Panther 2. And previously, if you guys don't remember, I bought the Eternals. And I had bought Thor Love and Thunder. And I had bought Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. And I had bought Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, which means I own every single Marvel Cinematic movie to date that's out in existence.
Well, and
Collection completed.
thanks,
So make more.
thanks to me showing you that one collection. That's for sure.
Okay. Golf clap. You show me the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You show me the DC one? No. I found that
There
on
isn't.
just now.
There isn't one.
Yes, there is. Just found it. Same price.
Hey, well, there you go.
It's only missing a few movies, a few of the new ones. It's doesn't have Wonder Woman 2, which sucked anyway. And I'll probably pick it up just because it's part of the series. But yeah, and it doesn't have Black Adam, but it has all the others, all the old stuff, and the new stuff. So obviously, because the DC isn't anywhere near as big, but they decided they wanted to make a 24 movie pack. So, but hey, I love all the old DC movies as well. So yeah. Anyways, I'll talk to you about that after the show. This one I have to show. It's pretty funny. I'm going to give this to my daughter because she absolutely loves it. My daughter's an adult now, but still loves it. It's the Little Mermaid trilogy, and I did not order this. I ordered the Captain America trilogy. This was before I got the full set of everything. But yeah, so sometimes when you order from companies that are cheaper, they don't pay attention as much. So yeah, I don't know how the Little Mermaid got confused for the Captain America trilogy. And honestly, I didn't even know there was a Little Mermaid trilogy. I knew the first movie only. I didn't even know there was two others. So I'm gonna give this to my daughter, so she'll be happy. So at least got my money's worth.
It's interesting that it has a trilogy set out there. I didn't know that they had a trilogy set out there of it. So
Yeah, I didn't even know they existed. So, and since I finished the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this is Marvel, but obviously not the company of Marvel. This is the first trilogy of X-Men. And now that I got this, I can start getting the other X-Men movies. The prequels, the Wolverine movies, the Phoenix movie, and the New Mutants too.
okay.
And we have one more, and then the other things I have to show on movies. Okay, and this is DVD, The Complete A 70s Show.
Right.
And if you don't know what this is, shame on you. Shame. Because this is awesome. This TV show is awesome. It was briefly that 80s show, and as much as I love the 80s, and the 80s awesome show was not. And bombed. Now they decided, let's try again, and Netflix has that 90s show. I have not checked it out, but unlike that 80s show, they actually brought back the most of the cast, everybody from the 70s show, with the exception of Hyde, since the actor isn't big doo doo. The actor is not a good guy. He may have been a good actor, but yeah. So we'll just leave it at that. Won't explain why.
Okay.
And that's what I have for movies and DVDs and Blu-rays.
Very cool.
And oh, that '70s show, that is Blu-ray.
Okay. So that's definitely an upgrade. If you're not, even if you didn't have the
Well, I did not have the DVD, no. But yeah, I got it on Amazon and it was a good price too for a Blu-ray. So
cool.
you know, I, since I have Blu-ray, I have DVD. I personally don't care. Yeah, there's a little bit of difference between the two. But I don't really care. DVD, Blu-ray. So I get whatever. I mean, obviously, if the Blu-ray is about the same price, or you know, I'll just grab the Blu-ray because obviously it is better. But other than that, I don't mind DVD at all. I mean, it's still a huge upgrade from VHS. And I remember VHS. So my mother was huge on watching recording movies on her VCR. So she had a huge movie collection before she ever started the Blu-rays and DVDs. Probably had way more movies because she fit, usually 3 to 4 movies per tape because she'd buy the 8-hour tapes when she could. And she always used every little bit on there, squeeze as much as she could.
Okay. Very cool. Well, thank you for showing some of your recent pickups. And to make this easier, I don't think I'm going to get into who directed what and with whom. Uh,
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, wow, this is gonna take a long time when you're doing that.
yeah. So I'm just gonna show the titles.
I mean,
And
most of the movies I have are stuff people know. You know,
yeah,
I mean, everything I showed are just so. There's no reason for me to go into detail. I said the movie collection only because just 24 movies on there. So yeah.
yeah. So um, at work, one of the girls ended up like dropping off a ton of like stuff that they were originally gonna send to Goodwill, and decided to let the employees pick.
Screw those homeless people.
So I got
Poor
Dexter
people.
first season.
What is it? Oh, Dexter.
Dexter, the first season from that.
I need to watch the sequel show.
Next, I know that you can actually buy this off of Kunaki, um, but it's a live performance of a comedian called Chili. I guess this is live at the Funny Bone, so he's an independent comedian. So
Never
I
heard
have
of him.
I've never heard of him either, but I remember seeing it on Kunaki at one point in time. Kunaki is a site that you could, that a lot of independent like people sometimes sell their products on. So if you don't know what it is, that's what that is. And then I also got the Breaking Bad first season from that pile of stuff that the girl dropped off as well. There will be other things throughout these, but yeah. This next one is also part of that Maneater series. It's called Wyvern. Kind of a cool cover. And it's directed by Stephen R. Monroe. Next, this is a film by Bruno Mattei called Violence in a Woman's Prison. This is Severance release, brand new, hasn't even been opened. Next, I have the 50 greatest finishing moves in WWE history. It's a 2-disc set on Blu-ray. Next, I have a film called The Vault.
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Was that one of the free ones, or did you buy that the WWE?
I'm not sure whether that was a free one. All I know is I think it was thrown in extra from my buddy.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool. I have the only thing I have from WWE is I have the Hulkamania collection. Pretty cool. It tells how he started and everything. It's one of the first things I bought.
Okay.
A long time ago.
Uh,
I used
the
to love
Vault.
WWF and WWE.
The Vault is directed by Dan Bush, and it stars Francesca Eastwood, Taryn Manning, Scott Hayes, Orianka Kilcher, Clifton Collins Jr., and James Franco. So it looks interesting. Next, I have a Blu-ray DVD combo pack from a collection of films that came from a series called Macabre, which was a horror film thing put out by the distribution company of Accelerator. It's called The Thompsons, and I believe it's a vampire flick. I know I have it on DVD on a French copy, so I can't read the director, so I won't say it. All I will say is stop putting fucking shit so fucking small and in some fucking words you can't even like read. Next, I have a film called The Sublet. Still have to check the film out. It is put out by Uncorked Entertainment through Black Fawn Entertainment, directed by John Ansley. So, looks entertaining. Next, I have
It's entertainment.
a film called The Stranger Beside Me. I guess this is the Ted Bundy story. And if you know anything about Anne Rule is a true crime novelist. I guess she actually
I definitely not my genre, so no, I know
presented
nothing about it.
presented this, and it stars Billy Campbell, Barbara Hershey, and Kevin Dunn. So it looks entertaining. Next, I have a Blu-ray copy of The Invisible, which is a good movie. I actually thought it was entertaining. I guess it's from the producers of The Sixth Sense, and it's directed by David S. Goyer. Next, I have a Vinegar Syndrome release of a movie called The Immortalizer. Those of you who know Vinegar Syndrome, they're known for their spiffy covers. And this is directed by Joel Bender. If you want to know more, let us know down in the comments, and I will provide if you want. Next, I have a copy of one of the films in a trilogy of films, and it is called The Happy Hooker Goes to Hollywood. I know the first film is probably called The Happy Hooker, and I don't remember what the other one was, but this film stars Adam West, Silvers, Richard Deacon, Chris Lemmon, uh, Eddie Adams, and Army Archerd, and it's directed by Alan
No, I'm sorry. It cannot be Adam West. Adam West is Batman. So you're saying Batman's in it?
Yeah.
Adam West is nobody else but Batman.
Okay, if you say so. But
Even when he was the mayor on The Simpsons, he was still Batman.
this is a Scorpion releasing film, which is a boutique label. Next,
Yeah, it's just weird hearing Adam West and it not be Batman. It's just like I'm sure he had a career before and after Batman, but definitely defined him. you know. Yeah.
so I
Let
have
me
the
know. Let me know
DVD.
how that movie is because it's curious how.
I'll be curious as well because anytime I've seen Adam West in anything else, it's hard to not picture him as Batman. So
Exactly.
it's kind of like he created the.
Especially I mean, when he did the cartoon, he still sounded like Batman. He does the same voice he uses Bruce Wayne and Batman. So it was hard to see him not be as Batman as the mayor. So um, you're wondering if he actually has some range and can do a different voice. If they wanted him to do that voice for the show, which is possible. So you know, it'll be interesting to find out. So let me know. Maybe I'll check it out sometime too. But I'll let you be the guinea pig and check it out first. And you can
I
let me
want
know.
to hunt down the other two films that have to do with the film before I watch that. But I'll have to let you know what I think of it down the road. The next,
Oh, it's part of a trilogy.
yeah, it's part of the trilogy. I don't know
That's
whether.
even that's even more interesting. So he's in all three, right? All three
I
movies.
don't know whether he's in all three.
Oh, okay.
But I want to check out the other two with this one so I can just watch them like all in a row. So I'm a completist, if anything. I'm,
Yeah, I mean, like when you were saying about that anime, you got, well, it sounds interesting, but I want to watch it because I don't have the other two. That's what
yeah.
I was thinking. I'm the same way. I remember I had a book, um, and it was like the second or third book in the series. It looked really awesome. Um, Elf Song of Shannara, which a lot of people have heard of Shannara. I watched the TV show, um, and I never ended up getting any of the other books, so I've never read that one. But there's books before it and books after it. I don't even like reading the first or second book if I know there's a trilogy or I know there's 6 or 7 books, um, because I did that once. I read it was 7 books in the series. Read 6, and the 7th one wasn't out yet. By the time it came out, it was on hardcover. Was like a year later, and it was way too expensive to buy on hardcover. Then by the time it actually came out on paperback, I ended up not getting it. And I remember generally what the story is about, but yeah, I'd have to reread the 6 books, and yes, I did enjoy it, but still, I'd have to reread the 6 books before I could actually finish the series. So yeah, I definitely am like I'm not doing that again. I'm waiting for stuff to finish. Kind of like Mo does with TV shows. You wait till they finish. I gotta do that with books because I hate waiting. I rather wait to start. I don't mind that because I don't know what I'm missing. But
Yeah.
once I'm into it, I want to finish. and if it's not out, I can't finish. So, all those people that are Game of Thrones fans, you know, I feel bad for them because they read all those books and they're still not finished, even though the show has been done. Yeah, they're still not finished. So yeah, I mean, I've wanted to read the books, but they're not finished. So.
so next is a Blu-ray copy of a 2016 film, and this was before I knew you, girl. But I guess at the time this movie was being talked about a lot in the independent film buzz, and I ended up getting a copy of the DVD at the time. So I guess this is kind of an upgrade because this is the special director's edition, but that was out at the same time. And
Well, at least it has something more than just being a Blu-ray upgrade. I can't see it.
it's called The Greasy Strangler,
Yep,
and
not heard of it.
it's I don't know, it's not as funny as they made it out to be, although it seemed to be like a fan favorite for a lot of people. So it
Well,
was
people are weird, so you don't know what's gonna catch on. Look at Napoleon Dynamite.
like normally like I would have liked something like this, but I don't know. At the time, I just wasn't getting the humor. You
Oh,
know,
I get it. Like, I mean, there's people that love Three Amigos, right? And like, the cast is awesome. I mean, I saw this and I'm like, and I went to rent it when I was a kid. I was like, this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be phenomenal. And I hated it. And it's like I don't know why. It is definitely something I should love. But it just did not tickle
yeah.
my funny bone at all.
If, I mean, I like the idea and concept, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll cover it one of these days, and then you can
Do we have to?
just for the sake of
I
like.
mean, if you don't even like it, what are the odds of me liking it?
I don't know, because oftentimes when I don't like something, you like it.
Not too much. You like
But
way more than I do.
next I have
I'm
a
more picky than you are.
next I have a Severin release of a movie called The Beast in the Cellar,
The beast, the cellar. How's he
and
doing in the cellar?
it looks like it's directed by James Kelly. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. It looks relatively creepy. Okay, this one is a Blu-ray, DVD, and soundtrack CD copy of um, the 27 Club. Club, I think it's called. So it's kind of an interesting thing. It's got Todd Rundgren and Mad Madison Carter.
Is it based on the TV show?
I don't think so. It's directed by Patrick Fogarty. It's from Cleopatra Entertainment. A singer-songwriter chasing fame and a journalism student researching his thesis are drawn into a sinister underworld as each attempts to discover the truth behind the curse of the 27 Club. So, um, if anything, it's at least an interesting release because it's got a soundtrack connected to it. Next I have some anime that I got from Brandon. Uh, so these four right here, I'll read off the titles. Are Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Arrow of the Orion. And is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Is it wrong to expect a hot spring in a dungeon? And
Somebody put those up to watch
Yeah,
in our discussion.
yeah. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Familia Myth and Sword of Oratoria. It is.
And to be clear, those are anime shows, not movies.
Yeah, those are animated shows.
Yeah,
Um,
that's how I knew those shows because somebody, because we cover shows, not
I
movies.
also have Pat Labor, the New Files, the original OVA series, the television series, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are television series of Pat Labor on Blu-ray. And also, he gave me Kasia-san and Morning Glories, which is, I believe, a movie because it's not a series; it's an anime movie. And then, like I said, Maria Holic and Maria Holic Alive. Um, these are on DVD, and I guess these are series, not movies. So, um, I guess Maria Holic has 12 episodes, and Maria Holic Alive has 12 episodes. So, next, I have Cult Camp Classics Volume 2, which is a 3 films called Caged, The Big Cube, and Trog. There are at least 4 or 5 collections with like a trio of films in them, and I didn't have this one quite yet, so I'm glad that I was able to get a copy of it. Next, I ended up picking up. I really like this film. It's called Criminal. It's got Kevin Costner, Gary Oldman, Tommy Lee Jones, Alice Eve, and Gal Gadot. And
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, Gal Gadot.
What movie?
It's called Criminal.
Now she's hugely known now in Wonder Woman, but she was also in the last few movies of the Fast and Furious as well.
Yeah, but she played alongside these, and Kevin Costner plays like a hard ass serial killer who gets something in his head to control him, so that Tommy Lee Jones character, I think, and Gary Oldman can like control him to do shit. It's kind of wicked and twisted, so I like it. Next, I have a movie from Gravitous Ventures, who puts out a lot of independent films. This one's called Big Top Evil on Blu-ray. So looking forward to checking that out. And this one was in that stack from The Girl at Work. It's Katherine Heigl in the 27 Dresses. Okay. Next, I have a film that you could find in Dollar Tree all across the country for $1 at one point in time, called Dark Was the Night. This is brand new Blu-ray DVD combo of it. This was in the pile from The Girl at Work. It's got Sigourney Weaver, Jennifer Love Hewitt, and Gene Hackman in a movie called Heartbreakers. I have a film called Hayride. It's a horror film. It's on Blu-ray. and it looks like it's written and directed by Taryn R. Parsons. Next, I have this was in the girls' stuff at work. Gross Point Blank and High Fidelity, I believe. These are two films that have John Cusack in them that I don't think I've ever seen. Next, I have Jonah Hill and Russell Brand and Get Him to the Greek. That was in the girls' pile. That I
Games of Greek is
think
fucking
from.
hilarious. Games of Greek is actually a sequel or a spin-off to Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Really?
If you watch Forgetting Sarah Marshall, she ends up she leaves the main character. He's trying to forget her, but she leaves him for his character, and but everyone his character's barely in the movie. Um, but everyone loved Russell Brand and the characters so much that they made a spin-off a movie, Get Him to the Greek, which I think was probably a way bigger hit than Forgetting Sarah Marshall was.
Okay. Interesting to
And
know.
I've always said that I would absolutely love to see him in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie with Johnny Depp, be his brother or cousin or something, and you know, even if Johnny Depp would do one more, maybe he could carry the torch on afterwards, because you know obviously Johnny Depp has some issues with Disney now, and he probably won't do another one. But
Yep.
we can all hope maybe he'll at least do one more, and they'll grab Russell Brand and they can do it together, and then Russell Brand can take over. But that's my hope, because that would be such. Even if that was the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie, it would go out in a bang. So, in my opinion, because the Russell Brand is crazy, and he's a lot like the way Johnny Depp um, plays the character. So, I think the two of them together would be absolutely insane. Um, if they can, have good chemistry and can work together, it'd be great, and not clash, which could happen. So, but I think they would have good chemistry. Honestly, I think it would
Okay.
work great. So I
Alrighty.
finally remember his name too. Every time I talk about that, I always forget his name. Always. Finally remember this time. You didn't forget his name.
Next, I have Chevy Chase and Funny Farm.
Great movie.
That was in the pile that I could take from the girl stuff. So glad that it was there. Uh, Next, I have an anthology called Frames of Fear. I actually have this on DVD from the original director, and then I know he signed up with Sub Rosa Cinema, and he still hasn't gotten any money from Sub Rosa Cinema, even though I know the company has sold a lot of copies of his films on it. So I know that he is frustrated because he thought he was going to like earn money, and the dude's like not giving him any. So not the first nor the last. Next, I have a Blu-ray um, a double feature set of Killer Movie and Midnight Movie. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Thought that was an odd pairing. Next, I have from the director of the 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up. I
Great
haven't
movie.
I haven't
Great
seen it.
movie.
Um,
Hilarious.
Next, I have Kate and Leopold and Serendipity.
Decent movie. It's Hugh Jackman's in that too, isn't he?
Yeah, in that one, Serendipity, it's got John Cusack again and Kate Beckinsale and Serendipity.
Okay. I know I've
Um,
seen it.
Next, I have some. This is from the Vinegar Syndrome Drive-In collection. I have two movies on here called Judy and the Night Hustlers.
Okay.
Then I have Jersey Girl
Movie.
with Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, and Jason Biggs.
Don't. Yep.
Next, I have a Blu-ray copy.
It also has J-Lo, but don't get excited. She's not in it for very long. It's great. And if you're not a fan, don't worry. She's not in it for long.
So this is obviously like a Blu-ray rental because it's a Blu-ray stuck in a DVD case. But it's the movie called It's Complicated with Meryl Streep, Steve Martin, and Alec Baldwin. And that's
so they played a switcheroo,
Baldwin.
but instead of being a bad switcheroo, like a Blu-ray case with a DVD inside, it was a DVD case with Blu-ray inside.
Yeah.
So that's a good switcheroo.
But yeah, this is before Baldwin became a murderer. So.
Oh, that's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
That is fucked up. He is not a murderer. It was not him that loaded the fucking gun. He didn't know it was a real gun. He certainly would not have just killed a person at all. It's absolutely retarded that they're even charging him.
I believe he's already been charged, and he's
yes, they charged him.
They proved that he is accountable for it.
No, they didn't. They have not gone to court yet.
But this is a movie called Insane, and it's based on real events, and it's directed by Massimiliano Cerci. This is a Blu-ray copy from SGL Entertainment. So, and this is my third copy of this film. Don't ask me why I've collected them, but this has to be like the original like copy of the of Headsick. This is called the Headsick Experiment, and it's a movie that went around that was supposedly like really, really fucking violent or gore, you know, that type of thing. Okay, now here we go. Next, I have this is a Film Detective release of a Blu-ray, a special edition, only limited to 1,500 copies release of Ega. And it's got on here the original Mystery Science Theater 3000 version. And it's got an interview with Arch Hall Jr. And it worked with Something Weird, Shout Factory, and the Cinema Preservation Alliance. So this is kind of like a cool thing of this movie, but I don't know who the director is per se. Oh, directed by Arch Hall himself. Okay, he was an actor. I didn't realize he was a director too. So, next, okay, this is the one that surprised me from the girl from work. That she was giving this away.
Yeah, just to let you know, yeah, they have not gone to court or anything, and he has not been prosecuted yet. He was charged with 2 counts with involuntary manslaughter, and you know, he still has to go in front of a jury and everything. And honestly, I don't see anyone convicting him of it. I mean, it's a terrible thing. He immediately felt absolutely horrible that it happened. I mean, you know, I, I honestly, I know, yeah, celebrities can get away with things. I mean, OJ did, but that doesn't mean all celebrities are scumbags getting away with something.
Oh, I never thought that, but
And I don't think. Well, you call him a murderer, so that was pretty harsh. I mean, a murderer isn't even involuntary manslaughter. That's just someone killing someone on purpose. So that's. You may have been joking, but I don't know.
yeah, I was slightly joking. He's not quite a murderer yet, but
Well, he'll never be a murderer. Even if he's convicted, it's still involuntary
he'll
manslaughter.
never be
You
a.
know, unless there's some way, like he confessed that he hated the woman for some reason and he murdered her. He'll never be a murderer. And like I said, I don't see that happening. I don't see that you know that is the truth. Um, I mean, stranger things could happen, but just say, you know.
Yeah, give me 1 second here because I'm trying to put all these movies that I've already mentioned.
But it wasn't even. I mean, he shot and killed her, but the gun went off and hit a few other people too. So a few other people were injured as well. So yeah, it's definitely an accident scenario more than.
Well, and I know that the family of the girl that died, they don't blame him.
Yeah. Yeah, and they'd be the first. They'd probably be the first ones to blame him if they thought for an instant that it was malicious or on purpose. Or negligence on his part.
Yeah.
It's. Oh, you want me to show the other couple things I got?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh.
Damn, they're heavy. Okay, so these are books. Like I said, a little different than what we usually see on here. Let me put my camera back on. And this is Star Wars Encyclopedia. And as you can see on the picture, it shows the Millennium Falcon. So this book is all about the Millennium Falcon.
Okay.
Nice little collector's item there. Now we have another encyclopedia, and are you sure everybody knows this one too? Darth Vader. So this encyclopedia is all about Darth Vader, although I think it's kind of pretty small since he had 6 movies. Now we have another Star Wars encyclopedia. This is about Naboo, where Padme is from, Darth Vader's wife. Where she's from and where she was the queen of and a senator. So this is all about Naboo.
I saw that.
And this is about one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars world, R2-D2. Who
Okay.
doesn't love R2-D2?
So there were several different books out there on Star Wars that you got.
Oh, there's a ton more. I actually belong to a thing where they can send more every month. I won't be able to get it this month because they're not super cheap. They're only about less than $10 a piece, but they send 4 books at a time, so it adds up. This one is the saga of Rey, which some people love and some people absolutely hate. Call her Mary Sue and other stuff. I'm a fan. I don't have issues of her being powerful in the Force. I think that it was explained, and it didn't bother me. I have issues with the second movie and the third movie, but not Rey. Especially the second. Third, not as much. And this one is Star Wars Encyclopedia, and this is about the Imperial Stormtroopers.
Okay.
So, I'm sure I'll be getting one with about Yoda and Obi-Wan and stuff, and Luke. I'll probably send a Luke last because that's probably one of the most popular ones and my favorite. So I'll have to wait forever for that. But but yeah, we did send R2, so that's good. I just need Luke, and they probably will not be sending Mara Jade because unfortunately, I think they're only doing canon, and Mara Jade is not canon yet. Although she might be, but even if she does, I don't think she'll be the exact reincarnation of the Mara Jade we love from the EU. So
Okay. I guess I'll continue. So this is the one that surprised me from the girl for work that she was getting rid of this because this is the out of print Dogma Blu-ray that goes.
Dogma,
Yeah, that
I love Dogma.
that goes for this copy right here. Sometimes can go for $500, brand new.
Wow, I love the movie, but no.
But
If someone offered me $500,
I
take it.
would say right now its worth is about 250.
Yeah. Again, if someone said here's $250, have it. You know what I mean? I love the movie, but come on.
Next, I have a Vinegar
I might
Syndrome.
even sell Star Wars for that.
Next, I have a Vinegar Syndrome release of Best Friends. I'm not sure if this is a double that I have. I'll have to check, but yeah, that's another skin flick. Next, this is an epic release of a film called Arctic. Never heard of it before. Can't even read the. Okay, maybe I can read some of the director's name. Tom Betchu, something like that. But it's brand new, still in its case. I figure I'll check it out eventually. Next, I have an older comedy. I think this was in the Girl from Work's stuff. It's called Out Cold. It's a comedy.
Haven't heard of it.
So, next I have this is out of print. It's a Jess Franco film called Night of the Skull. Since I realized I didn't have an actual copy of Miracle on 34th Street, like the longer version, not the one that
Yeah, you got the real version.
yeah.
Which one did you get?
The DVD 2-disc.
Yeah, which version?
Oh, the original.
Okay, 1944.
Yeah, the 1944 one. I will never pick up the other one.
It's not that bad. It's almost the same movie.
It's bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's in color.
It's just bad in general. Bad
What do you
acting.
mean it's bad? It's the same movie.
Bad acting.
What do I'm not talking about the new one. I'm talking about the 1955.
Oh well, no. The 1955 one that one's good. I'm talking about the remake.
I actually like the new remake, but
I know.
I knew you were talking about that because I'm like, there's no way you would talk about the 1955 one.
No, I'm not talking about the 1955 one. I'm talking about the remake. That should have never happened.
1955 was a remake. Was the first remake.
No.
The original, and then you have a remake. And then you had another remake.
This is the original, not a remake.
Yes, because it's the 1944. I get it.
This was directed by George Seaton.
I didn't say it was a remake. I said the 1955 is a remake.
And I have the colorized version and the black and white version on here. So not
Oh,
that
so they gave you both.
not that I'll ever watch the colorized.
They gave you the original and the remake.
Yep. And this is another epic release called Candy Corn. Stars Courtney Gaines, Pancho Moeller, PJ Souls, and Tony Todd. And I guess it is directed by Josh Tasty. I'm looking forward to checking this out. I like some of the epic releases that they release. And this is an action film with Ann Curtis and Brandon Vera. It's directed by Eric Maki, and it's called Buy Bus. Next, I have Arrow releases of Frank Henenlocker's film Brain Damage without the slipcover, but that's fine with me. Next, I have Unearthed Films copy of Deep XXX Web, which is supposedly a collection of I think it's an anthology. Yeah, it's a horror anthology of like short films that acted like they were found on the dark web. So I know there's quite a few directors connected with this. Yeah, Mason Bell amongst them. So yeah, looking forward to checking that out. See how shocking that is. Next, this was in the Girls from Works collection. I didn't have a copy of Wimbledon. Kirsten Dunst and Paul Bettany. Sports film, I
Paul
think about.
Bettany, for people that don't know, is Vision. And of course, Kirsten Dunst played Mary Jane Watson. So, yeah, both from Marvel movies. Sort of.
Yep. And Joaquin Phoenix, Mark Wahlberg, Eva Mendes, and Robert Duvall in We Own the Night. Which
What's it
I've
called?
actually seen this. It's called We Own the Night.
Oh, I've heard that movie. I've seen it.
I saw it, but now I own it. Next, I have this film is worth a lot right now because it's out of print as fuck. It's called Trauma, and it's directed by Lucio Rojas. It has a tagline of the most controversial extreme horror offering in recent memory. It was distributed by Exploitation Films, and it's still brand new in its package, so I'll have to eventually watch it. I've heard some things about it, so I hope to eventually, watch it. Next, I picked up a copy of Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy in Trading Places.
I love that movie. I want that movie.
I also, from the girls' stuff, she had The Usual Suspects on Blu-ray. So I picked that up. Next, I have The Sweetest Thing with Cameron Diaz.
Seen that.
Christina Applegate and Selma Blair. That
Good
was also
movie.
girls' stuff. The Legend of Bagger Vance.
Yep.
With Will Smith and Matt Damon and Charlize Theron.
Great cast.
remake of Starsky and Hutch with Ben Stiller and
That was good.
Owen Wilson,
Yeah, that was good.
and a movie called Snatch, which I have never seen. That was also in the girls' stuff. Next, I picked up at Walmart, which I should have picked it up at Best Buy because it was at least $4 cheaper there.
Really?
Yeah,
Generally
they
speaking,
had
Walmart's cheaper than Best Buy.
they had this trilogy for like 18 something, where it was $12.99 at Best Buy, and I was like, oh shit. So, but it's Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, 4, and 5. Even though I already have this on these on DVD, this is the Shout Factory release. Oh no, not the Shout Factory. It's the Vestron Video Collector. It is a number release number 28. So.
I shake my head at you.
Next, I have Sense and Sensibility. That's got Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman, R.I.P., Kate Winslet, and Hugh Grant. Next, I have Prince of the Crimson Void. This is Dakota Reyes, who used to be Dakota Bailey. He is an independent filmmaker from Denver, Colorado. And this was his 9th release, I believe. I have not watched it yet. And then, of course, these came from Brandon. These are all animated. These are all 3 movies of Pat Labor. This is Pat Labor, the movie. Pat Labor 2, the movie. And then this is technically the 3rd movie, but it's called World WX3 Pat Labor. So, again, I did have those. So, because we had, because I didn't have Lilo and Stitch, I picked up Lilo and Stitch.
Just the first one?
This is the first one. I have Lilo and Stitch too, so it's
You know, the others.
I don't have Leroy.
And you don't have the shorts or the shows.
The shorts are not on anything.
They have to be.
Nope. But Tom Cruise.
No, they have to be. Maybe they're on Disney Plus.
I didn't have this movie of Tom Cruise's, so I picked that up.
What movie?
Risky Business.
Oh, a fucking great movie. That is a great Tom Cruise movie, unlike The Mummy, that was a horrible Tom Cruise movie.
Are you talking about The Mummy Impossible?
No, I'm talking about The Mummy. Mission Impossible movies were good.
Dane calls it The Mummy Impossible.
Well, Dane's a weirdo.
But here is a Peekarama double feature. This is from Vinegar Syndrome. They have a drive-in collection on DVD and this Peekarama thing, which is more for like skin flicks that they remaster. And on here, I have Pulsating Flesh and Super Sex. Next, I have Renee Zellweger and Harry Connick Jr. in Newtown.
What's it called?
Newtown.
Newtown?
Yeah.
I gotta check that out. I like Renee Zellweger.
Next, I have Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair. From the director of Crank, Mom and Dad.
What's it called?
It's called Mom and Dad.
Oh, that's what it was called. I thought you said from the director of.
Next, I have a. I guess this is an independent movie. Okay. It's called Marijuanos Who Wants Some? A reformed gangster, a final score, a killer ride. A ruthless convict returns to the barrio, ends in a brutal bloodbath. Influenced by the gritty exploitation films of the late 70s and early 80s, Marijuanos deals with brothers, blood brothers, and brothers in arms. Fans of crime, drama, and action. So I guess this is directed. Looking for the directed. Directed by Marty Katola. Next, I have another Picarama double feature. With Lust Inferno and Marathon. Next, I have, I believe this is Vinegar Syndrome's release of Jack Frost, the 80s killer comedy of a killer snowman.
Ah,
It it does have the lenticular changing Jack Frost on the cover, or as you can see. So, I believe Vinegar Syndrome only did the first one of that, and this is an earlier release of Inbred Rednecks, which I believe eventually became Inbred Redneck Vampires,
okay.
which is the Joe Sherlock film that you said you wanted to eventually.
I know. I remember.
So this was its earlier title and earlier release. So I have a copy of it.
It doesn't sound as interesting.
No, it doesn't. But
Take out the vampires and yeah.
next, I have another Picarama double feature with Carnal Highways and Carnal Olympics. It's amazing all the different stuff. I do believe that I do have a copy of Bridget Jones' Diary too, but but the girl had Bridget Jones' Diary, so I had to complete it.
Right. Now a third one?
Not sure.
I think there is. So you're not complete. But at least
Fuck
you had the
you.
first one.
Next, I have another double feature from the Picarama collection
I've
called.
seen the first two Bridget Diary films. Yes, I know that chick flicks, but I don't know. They like the romance
Okay,
stories.
so these two adult films are called Frankie and Johnny Were Lovers and The Mislaid Genie or Jenny.
Already.
So you're learning porn names. Next, I have Frames of Fear on DVD from Sub Rosa Cinema. And yes, I showed you the Blu-ray earlier.
Howdy.
So next,
Yeah,
I
girl.
have Dr.
Yeah,
Heckle
girl.
and
Wait.
Mr. Hype. Dr. Heckle and Mr. Hype, which is
What?
evidently
Surprisingly.
I still didn't hear you.
Surprisingly.
a evidently a Blu-ray. I guess this is starring Oliver Reed, and it is directed by Charles B. Griffith. It seems to be a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde comedy, and it looks like it is a Scorpion release. So I thought this was an interesting title, Dr. Heckle and Mr. Hype. Next, I have Dreamstalker and Death by Love. It is a double feature by Intervision. I guess I was looking for the director. One's from 1990 and one's from 1991. But Dreamstalker and Death by Love.
What is it?
Dreamstalker and Death by Love. And the one
Okay.
before was Dr. Heckle and Mr. Hype.
Which version?
Dr. Heckle and Mr. Hype.
Oh, Dr. Heckle?
Yep.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's got Oliver Reed in it.
Was it a spoof?
I believe it was a spoof. It's a Blu-ray of it. So here's another one. I mentioned a Macabre collection by Accelerator. This one is called Dragon Wasps. And that's directed by Joe Nee. Next, this is another Vestron release of Earth Girls Are Easy.
Great movie. Gina Davis.
Yep.
Early row.
Also an early role of Jim Carrey, Damon Wayans, and Jeff Goldblum.
Wait, Jim Carrey's in it?
Yep.
Is he listed as James Carrey? Well, one of his first films, Love at First Bite, he's listed as James Carrey. He's the main character, but he's the straight guy. It's a comedy, but he's the straight guy. He's not funny.
Next, I have a
I love that movie too.
Next, I have a Vice Academy trilogy of 1, 2, and 3 from Vinegar Syndrome. This is an interesting box for it, but I'd never even heard of these. I guess these are some softcore stuff with Linnea Quigley and Ginger Lynn Allen. I guess it's I think I showed you the that's one side and that's the other. Next, I have a movie called Tomboys from SRS Cinema. I believe I have a different release for this though, somewhere along the way. That's from Sub Rosa Cinema, though that copy. Next, I have The Velocipaster on Blu-ray. It is a Wild Eye release, written and directed by Brandon Steer. A lot of the guys actually liked this movie. It's done in good taste, I guess. Next, I have The Trail of Dracula from Folklore to Screen, which was a DVD release put out by Intervision. So, looking forward to checking that documentary out. I have another Peak-A-Rama double feature called with The Sensually Liberated Female and He and She. And then this is also another Massimiliano Cerci film called Night Shift. I have both this one and Insane on DVD, but I'm glad that I was able
that's a good movie.
The Night Shift?
Yeah,
I don't think you've seen this one.
I think I have.
Well, it's from SGL Entertainment, and I'll have to check it out eventually. This is another box set from Vinegar Syndrome. It's called the Angel Collection. It actually pulls apart like this. And then we've got Avenging Angel. And then just Angel. And then Angel 3, the final chapter. She's developed a taste for revenge.
What are they about?
I believe, well, let's see. Molly Stewart, Donna Wilkes from Jaws 2, is at the top of her class at the prestigious private film school she attends. But what her classmates and teachers don't know is that Molly survives by working nights as a prostitute on Hollywood Boulevard in the company of her friends, a worldly transvestite, a retired cowboy movie star, and her cantankerous but kind-hearted landlady. However, her world begins to fall apart when a depraved necrophiliac serial killer begins targeting LA's streetwalkers. As more and more women fall victim to this vicious killer, Molly realizes that it will be up to her and her friends to take on the maniac before they too find themselves in his murderous sights. Mixing brutal slasher style killing scenes with the sweetness of an after-school special. And that's pretty much what we have going on through all three of these movies. And I guess they've become cult classics. So, yep, that's what those are about. Next, I have a SRS Cinema release, Sub Rosa Cinema release of a movie called Scarecrowd. And then I also have a Blu-ray release of Root of Darkness. And don't ask me why, but I have a DVD copy of Root of Darkness too.
Why?
Also, I have Samuel Jackson and Josh Hartnett in a movie called Resurrecting the Champ. I think it's a boxing movie. And then this is a Vinegar Syndrome release of a movie called Blood Games. It is directed by Tanya Rosenberg. I'm looking forward to checking that.
In relation to Willow?
Huh?
In relation to Willow?
Willow?
Buffy's best friend, Willow Rosenberg.
Oh, not sure. Not sure.
Well, that wasn't the actress, that was actually the character, so obviously not.
Next, I have a 6-film collection of horror film, Hammer films on Blu-ray. This has got Maniac, Die, Die, My Darling, The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll, The Gorgon, The Revenge of Frankenstein, and The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. So, eventually, I want a huger set of the Hammer films. But here is Patrick Wilson, Ellen Page, and Sandra Oh in a horror film called Hard Candy. Next, I have Vinegar Syndrome's release of Hell Riders. And this, I guess, has another side to it. This is brand new, still in its packaging, but it looks like it's directed by James Bryant. Next, I have a Vinegar Syndrome release of a film called Olivia. And this film is directed by Uli Lomel, which means he's an Italian dude. And that's the other side. Oh, wait, that is. Because Vinegar Syndrome is, again, known for its covers, slip covers. Next, I have the One Missed Call trilogy from Arrow. These are the original J-horror films. And just like the Ring and Grudge movies, it's a trilogy all of its own. So, glad that I have it. Next, I have a film from Vinegar Syndrome, a release called Pale Blood. And this is directed by VV Dashin HSU. Don't even know who the fuck that is, but it's got an interesting cover. Next, I have a Vinegar Syndrome release of the movie Deadline. And this one is directed by Mario Azzopardi, whoever that is. But looking forward to checking that out because it looks fucking weird as all hell. Okay. This little stack here is the last of before today's pickups. So here I have a movie called They're Inside. Next, I have a movie called Dark Harvest, but it has a bonus film on here called Escapes with Vincent Price. And this is put out by Intervision. Next, I have a movie called Cirrus. And this is written and directed by Jay Duplass and Mark Duplass. I also have a movie called Feral. This has Scout Taylor Compton and Olivia Luccardi in it, and it's directed by Mark H. Young. It's a Shout Factory release. Looking forward to checking that out. Next, I have a copy of Evil Ed. You don't know how many copies I have of this film. I have the DVD. I have a bootleg. But this is Arrow's release of it. And this particular film, I'm trying to see. Director Anders Jacobson is of that one. Next, I have Arrow's release of Deadly Manor. I've never seen this movie, but I hope to check that out. It's Let's see. It's by Jose Ramon Larez, who has done such films as Edge of the Axe and Vampires. So, should be interesting to check that out. Next, I have a movie based on a video game called Double Dragon. And
What do you mean a video game? You're talking about an awesome fucking video game. You're talking about my childhood, my teenage life, dude. I love that fucking game, man. The
well,
movie was not so great, but the game was great.
they remastered it on Blu-ray and DVD, and this is the copy.
They made a Blu-ray version of it.
Yeah, they remastered. It's not a remake. It is the movie. But
Yeah, it's remastered. I get it.
I've not seen it yet.
I have.
Next, I have a Severin release.
It's your typical video game movie, meaning it's not so great.
Oh, like Super Mario Brothers?
It's Super Mario Bros. Was better.
Well, this is Umberto Lenzi's copy of Eaten Alive. It was banned in 38 countries at one point, and
I
the
don't want to watch it.
release of Eaten Alive.
I learned my lesson watching anything that's banned that you people mention. After sale, never again.
Next, I have a film directed by Conrad Bruegel. A film called Escape from Women's
Although a movie I love is actually banned in one country.
Escape from Women's Prison. Okay, now we're getting down to the stuff that I've gotten within the last week, and then I have a stack that came from today.
We're gonna be. I know you're an hour behind me, but we're almost tomorrow. How
Well,
long this broadcast has been?
well, I
Podcast,
promise
but,
you we're almost done. So I guess this is the first 10 seasons of Doctor Who from 2005. Picked that
first
up.
10 seasons of the 2005. See, that's what I get. What confuses me. Like, you say first 10, but there was like the first 10 was in the 50s.
Well,
Right?
no,
So,
the first 26 were in the 60s.
right, that's what I'm saying. So that's what confuses me.
In 2005 is when they rebooted it.
Oh, they rebooted Doctor Who.
Correct. But that one is on its 13th or 14th season, and this is
Oh, see,
this is the
Roper
first 10
told me
seasons of that series.
because I told him I didn't like that 2005 version, because it was the
Well, this
fucking.
was
I mean,
awesome.
I'm sorry. I didn't like the 60s version because it was just fucking
This was awesome getting these for like
stupid.
$50. This the first collection has Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant as the Doctor. The second
Yeah, I don't know who
collection
they are,
here
but
has Matt Smith as
see,
the Doctor, and then this last collection here has Peter Capaldi.
I might go ahead and look for the 2005 version and watch that.
Yeah, and honestly, it has a spin-off series too, which is more expensive to get, which I'm planning on eventually getting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a nerd, and there's so many nerds that love Doctor Who, and like I said, I tried the original, which, like I said, the way people make it sound like it's just one show, like it's different doctors, but it's been one show since the '60s. So that's what I thought it was, which kind of
Yeah,
crazy,
and
but that's the way
I
people
know that
talk.
they lost quite a few episodes from the beginning. So
And even Mo never like corrected it or anything, never said anything either. So I'm like, okay, so until you just said they rebooted in 2005, I had no fucking clue. So now there's a starting point where I can start. Like, okay, 2005 is new enough that I could probably get into it. I mean, even the 90s or possibly 80s, but yeah, the 50s English, like, I mean, okay, there's some English that's old that I love too, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like their comedy is different sometimes, or they're the way they make things, and sometimes I just don't like it. Like I just could not get into the original Doctor Who in the '60s, but newer one I could probably get into and even love. So I don't know, I finally have a starting point to start. So thank you.
yep. And Walmart's been selling this first 10 seasons for like $50, so it's fairly cheap.
I'm probably not gonna buy them, but I'll now look to watch them.
Next, I picked up the Dentist collection. This was the
Yeah,
latest.
you didn't answer me, but Mo just picked up the Dentist collection as well.
Yeah, I also picked it up before he did, so
Who cares?
I do. But
Ooh, I
anyways,
picked it up
the
before
Dentist,
him.
the Dentist
Are
2.
you fucking 12?
Yep, I'm fucking 12. And you know
He
what?
showed it to me before you did, so.
That's fine and dandy.
Yeah, I'm
Next,
sure he doesn't give a shit
no
either. I
releases
mean,
of
I'll tell you what, you both own it before me because I'll never own it.
the Salamander House.
I probably won't even watch it because, yeah.
This is the Salamander House. It's a
The
Vimeo release.
Dentist in Little Shop of Horrors was bad enough. With Steve Martin. Great role.
And Screams from the Swamp. This is another Vipco release. So these came the other day. Dentist I got last week. So did I also got Doctor Who the week before last. So now on to the stuff from today. I'll start with the movies.
Oh, thank goodness. Today.
So this is an older release. I believe it's black and white. It's called Bush Christmas. I thought that this was an interesting cast. It has Carrie Elwes, Elaine Hendricks, Christopher Lloyd, Mary Steenburgen, Sally Kirkland, Billy Ray Cyrus, and Robert Englund in a movie called Wish You Were Dead. Then I have a comedy called The Invention of Lying. Then I have a remake of The Lady Killers with Tom Hanks. Then I have I believe this is directed by Lou Lee. I also believe that this also may be a subtitled film from ITN Distribution called Creatures of the Mist. The cover looks wicked. Oh, and you'll like this one. These last two of the movies. I didn't have the last two Spider-Mans, so I picked up No Way Home and Far From Home.
Nice. I have all three now.
Yep,
I had
I have all three.
I actually own 2 and 3 on streaming. This is before I realized that even if you buy it streaming, you could lose it. But I accidentally bought the second one, thinking it was the third one. Because they're all named close to the same. So not that I didn't enjoy the second one, but I thought I was buying the third one. And then when the third one did finally come out, I bought that streaming. So I'm glad I have them on DVD, because no one can take that away from me.
Okay. The series, I'll start with my Valentine's Day day. From
Now I'm still a huge
Yep.
fan of streaming, but not owning streaming anymore. Because if you own something, you should always be able to have it. And I mean, if you buy something, if you pay money to buy something, you should own it,
Yeah,
whether it's streaming or not. And if they can take it away from you, that's fucked up. So
yes, they can.
still an advocate for streaming. Streaming's fucking great, but I'm not gonna buy anymore. I'm not an advocate for that anymore. And I've
So
never been an advocate for renting because that's just expensive.
when
I
I
mean,
saw this,
yeah, I used to rent movies back in the day, but that's before there was streaming sites.
when I saw this, I wanted it, and I asked Tammy for it for her Valentine's Day, and she got me Battlestar Galactica, the remake, the complete series.
Nice. How much was that?
$40.
Not a bad deal.
No, 42 with like tax and all that.
Yeah, that's what I talked about earlier. Starbuck, this one is Katie Starhack as Starbuck, but originally it was Richard Hatch was the other one. Richard Hatch was Apollo. Oh, now I can't think. Dirk Benedict was original Richard Hatch, which you all may also know him from the A-Team.
So this is season 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of La Femme Nikita.
Big versions, huh?
Yep, except for the last season. There are no other versions.
What?
There are no other versions for that. Oh, well, maybe there are some slim cases, but I think the fourth season is also a slim case, but the first three are.
Mo's gonna watch us.
Bigger.
Well, I just noticed he put up a thing for people to join him. And I was like, so I told him I was in a pickup with you. He asked where, so he could at least watch it until someone shows up.
So I also picked up Dinosaurs, seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4.
How many seasons were there?
There were 4 seasons.
Awesome. Not the mama. Not the mama.
And this isn't the complete of it, but I found the first 2 seasons of Fargo 1 and Fargo 2. These are the seasons that I've watched of it. And, of course, this looks like it used to be like a Redbox rental. But I'm glad that I have the first and second seasons because those were the ones that I've watched, and they were very trippy. So that is it for all of my pickups, at least as far as movies go. Another day I'll do games. So
we thank you.
but hopefully, what up, Retro Cult Home Media? Yeah, we slung it out.
Hey Mo, I guess you came in at the end of it. But yeah.
But yeah, I showed off all of my pickups lately, at least of movies.
Every time we do this, I think I'm excited for what I have, and Dave has like 20 times more than me. But then again, there is such thing as quality over quantity, and I believe I have the quality.
Okay, I suppose. Since I picked these games up today, Mafia, the definitive edition,
I thought we weren't doing games. What the hell?
and Mafia 3, the deluxe edition. Those I picked up today, only because I did all my pickups for today. So, but those are the games that I picked up today. So, thank you all for. Oh, what do you want to ask me about? You could just join me, you fucker. The link is in the group if you scroll up.
It's in Delusions of Grandeur.
Yeah, it's in Delusions of Grandeur if you're still part of it.
Should be.
But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have to show. I know I've got some stuff on the way, so maybe I might do a loan video, or maybe I might just wait till Kroll actually collects some more. Who knows? I've just been basically doing it with you because you've actually been collecting. So you're the
Yeah,
one
I
pick up
I
video.
don't think it might be a while before I collect again. But we'll see.
But I know I've got some stuff on the way.
Yeah, I don't see me getting too much in the near future as much as I would like to. Maybe I might pick up that DC collection because I love DC, and yeah,
All right.
that'd be a nice one to own.
Well, let us know down in the comments, anyone who has been watching, to let us know if you thought of any of our pickups were cool, or have you checked them out or whatnot. So, yeah, definitely. Like, share, and subscribe, and hopefully we'll do another pickup video eventually in the future. So, thank you for listening and enjoy.
Ciao.